Friday, May 1st, gentlemen, mark it down in your calendars the day Gareth Bale started openly flirting with Major League Soccer. Here's what the 30-year-old Welshman had to say on the Hat Trick podcast. Quote, "I really like the league. It's grown so much. It's a league that's on the up and still rising. A lot more players want to come to America now. I would definitely be interested in it." He also added he loves going to LA for vacation and plays a lot of golf while he's there. Let's leave the golf to the side for a second. Just focus soccer on the field. Herc, would Gareth Bale right now coming to MLS dominate the league, you think?
Depends what Gareth Bale will get. If it's a healthy Gareth Bale, absolutely. He's that type of player. He's shown those type of flashes throughout his career, great moments throughout his career. I think in the right team, he could be a very effective player. But which Gareth Bale are we getting? Are we getting the Gareth Bale who's going to stay on the field, stay healthy, which he's proven to be a problem throughout his career? Or are we getting the Gareth Bale that's going to joke about the amount of time he's golfing? The Gareth Bale who sees Major League Soccer as an opportunity to come to America, as an opportunity to no longer be under the lights, be under the criticism of world's football. Which Gareth Bale are we getting? At his best, he can completely dominate this league. I have no doubt. At his worst, he's a spectator like everybody else.
Ale, would he be the league's best right away?
Well, Herculez just addressed something that I think is very important, and that is that Gareth Bale, in moments, would be the league's best. Yes, in moments. The question then becomes, how many of those moments are we going to have, and how often are those moments going to happen? If they happen as they have for him over the last 3 or 4 seasons, which is one good moment every 6 to 8 weeks, then whatever investment you're making as a league and as a club, then it's something that you have to question. Is that worthwhile? And it's a fair question to ask of Gareth Bale in saying, look, man, we know the sort of talent that you are. The world knows the sort of talent that you are. But if you're going to come, we need the full committed version of yourself. If that's not what you're willing to give, if you're thinking about other things, if you're not into this mentally, physically, spiritually, if this is not something you truly want to do and commit yourself to doing, then you know what? Don't even bother. Don't forget about it. It's all right. It's okay. The league is going to survive without you, and you're going to do your own thing on your side, and we're all going to be just fine. So for me, if I'm MLS and any club that would be interested, I would have a real, true conversation with the player, and I would do some soul searching and say to myself, what is the upside here? And how often is that upside going to be realized? And if I'm comfortable with those answers, then yes, I chase Gareth Bale down because I think he's that good of a player and that talented of a player. But be careful, because whenever Gareth Bale shows up and he's not fit and ready to play, and he's having difficulties staying on the field, and he's being inconsistent, then you cannot turn around and say, well, we didn't see this coming. We didn't see this happening. Anybody who has followed Gareth Bale over the last 3 or 4 seasons would know that that has become very much a part of his reality.
Let's talk dollars and cents here, because I feel like when you talk MLS, you always have to do that. His reported salary right now, 14.5 million euros, probably somewhere around $17 million. If you look back at last year's salaries, that's like $10 million more dollars than the highest paid player in Major League Soccer. Herc, is he worth that kind of money? Because it would totally change the look of salaries in MLS.
No, if you're talking about players who are worth that type of money in Major League Soccer or more, there are probably only a handful of players, and he doesn't fall into that category. I think he understands if he's coming to Major League Soccer, if he's coming to America at this point in his career, it's not to make 14 million euros a year. I think he's looking at other things, players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, when he came down here for 1.5 million, we're looking for. A different level, a different taste of life, maybe different type of branding that he wanted to get himself exposed to in what is America and Major League Soccer. But that's a lot of money for a player who's often injured, a player who has only shown flashes in the last 3 or 4 years. But if I'm Major League Soccer and it's a reasonable price tag, and I say reasonable in air quotes, right? The upside on Gareth Bale is so worthwhile. The great moments that he's had in the Copa del Rey final versus Barcelona, where he's literally dribbling out of bounds and still beats everybody with speed, the bicycle kick goal in the final of the Champions League, these great moments he's had, the goals at Spurs, they almost overshadow these other not so great moments. And I honestly think he has merit to be amongst the top paid players in this league, even so that oft-injured track record.
What do you think, Ale? Worth stretching that MLS dollar even further?
I wouldn't do it. If I were a technical director, a general manager, president of a club, an owner of a club, I would be tempted. But it would have to be a real good package deal, and one that has all sorts of positive aspects to it on my side, on the team side, not on the side of Gareth Bale. And that's the part that I would be very weary about, is you have a player that may think and may frame this as if he's doing MLS a favor, as if his presence in Major League Soccer would be the make or break factor for a league that continues to grow. And I do think that when you think back of the players and designated players that have been successful in this league and some of these big names that have really added value to the league, they have fully and truly committed themselves to the league. They have bought into whatever their role is within their teams and the responsibilities that they carry within their team and on the bigger stage within the league as well. I don't think that right now, at this point in his career, Gareth Bale can say that he has shown all of us that he's truly and fully committed to a particular cause. We see moments, we see greatness, and the things that Herculez just alluded to, they happen 2 and 3 years apart. If we go back to the Copa del Rey final, Marc Bartra was still playing center back for Barcelona. Okay, this is years and years ago. And then when you think about the bicycle kick in the Champions League final, you think, oh yeah, we're gonna get that. That was years and years after that Copa del Rey final. And so I really do think that you have to be very careful if you're in the front office and ownership of a team, that you don't go salivating and go crazy and thinking, man, that's what we're gonna get. Because not even Real Madrid, we're talking about one of the huge names, biggest clubs in the world, not even Real Madrid has gotten the best of Gareth Bale with any sort of consistency. And so if you're not getting that at that sort of level, it would be logical to think that there will be a letdown in Gareth Bale and saying, well, I don't have the pressure that I had there. So really, I'm just going to come and knock the ball around and move a little bit and do a couple of nice things here and there. And if that's a mentality, then I don't think that adds value to Major League Soccer.
Herc, I don't think there's a lot of teams in the league that can pull this off. If you had a short list, who do you think could do it?
The LA Galaxy, because they continue to press the envelope. They continue to push boundaries and try to get these type of players within the league. And I understand all the concerns that Alejandro is voicing. And I'd echo those as well. I'm trying to think of a way that Major League Soccer can go beyond this, and all you really use on him is a designated player slot. And we spoke about this recently with Jack Wilshere, for example. What if you could make a contract, create a contract where it's incentivized for him to get on the field, stay on the field, and he can earn these top dollars and potentially be the league's highest paid player if he gets on the field and if he produces? I think this is a situation where a lot of people would feel very comfortable with. And if I'm the LA Galaxy, this is something I do because, quite frankly, Gareth Bale at his best makes my team better. And it's an investment, I think, that will pay dividends in the future. Listen, and I only mention the Galaxy because they continue to be at the forefront of when it comes to exploring these possibilities and pushing the envelope. But I'm sure there are a lot of teams out there within Major League Soccer, within their ranks, that would love to have a player of that caliber.
Well, Hertz, that's all fine and well in a perfect world. And I'm
Right.
with you, and I hear you. But here's the thing. Just evaluate the player and evaluate Gareth Bale and evaluate what his last few years have been. And then ask yourself, he has had the opportunity to go elsewhere from Real Madrid, given that Zinedine Zidane was not going to play him out on the field. He's been left in purgatory all by himself. Go play golf. We'd rather you go play golf than come and be with the team. And there's been opportunities for him to go elsewhere to sort of push his career forward in a different direction. And there hasn't been any sort of urgency or motivation for him to take that step. He is proven, because of his actions, that he is fine and well with just sitting back and cashing that check. That's the perception that you get from Gareth Bale nowadays. Now, It may be an incorrect perception, but that is the message that we get when we see the attitude and the behavior, and we see the fact that he has had opportunities to go elsewhere and decided, no, I'll stay. I'm more than fine here in Real Madrid, and they'll have to pay me out. Okay, so why, if I'm in a front office right now in a club ownership, why would I think that me structuring a deal with incentives is going to motivate this guy? What if he didn't feel like he had to prove anything at Real Madrid? Let's be honest. Why would he feel he has to prove something at the LA Galaxy? That's a fair question to ask. And if it did, this is about incentives and money, and this is how he's gonna get it paid. Look, he could just as easily walk out of Real Madrid and go and play in a club team in China and get paid millions upon millions of dollars, and there is no incentive in his contract. It's just he shows up and he gets his money. So there are a lot of things to ask here, but the biggest question you have to ask is, what is the level of commitment of the player? And he has to be into it. He has to buy into the idea. If he doesn't, then I think we're all wasting our time.
That may be the case, especially if you think the biggest caveat here or problem here isn't, can he stay healthy? Is this mentally, where is he at? Can he mentally commit to said situation? And I don't know if he's got much to prove, or if any designated player that comes to Major League Soccer has much to prove. But I do feel at 30 years old, a player of that resume and that caliber, you don't get to where you are if you don't have that self-pride. And listen, of course, different factors have come into play of why he's not been playing at Real Madrid, problems within management or whatever you may want. But at 30 years old, I just feel like maybe this is a roll of the die that I would take if I'm Major League Soccer or a club within.
All right, let's leave it there for now. Certainly interest from Gareth Bale in Major League Soccer. We'll see if that interest is reciprocated.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.